let's go and look at that switch statement. It's kind of like another way of writing an if-else if statement. Okay, it just has like different syntax. So let's go and tackle that one. Go here, go here. Switch, let me see here, okay. Okay, so write a prototype or signature or header function, right? For a function that accepts a number, returns a string. I think we can say, let's name it menu. So we'll accept a number and we return string. Okay, so string menu. And then we go switch. Okay, that's included, and those are the requirements that we have. So let me do that. Semicolon is not required here. Let me help C++ with namespace resolution using string. Okay, so now it's happy. I say string option equals, let's return option, and then let's tackle the test case. So we go here, let me go up here and include switch. Include switch.h. Let me create a test case with some assertions. So we'll go test case, control space, enter, and then test menu using the switch statement. Okay, so let's go ahead and test as we go along, and we say get, actually it's menu, right? So I said menu, option 1. So if we say option 1, that should return option 1. This simple example just to demonstrate how this piece works. So let me go here. Okay. Okay, so now let's create that switch statement. So the syntax for the switch is switch. I did SW tab, and then it kind of like gave me a template for my code, right? So expression obviously doesn't exist, but what we need in here as a parameter is anything that evaluates to a whole number or to an integer. Okay, so if we do that, we're good. And case is kind of like the branching. So assuming num is 1, so then we say case 1 here. So oops, when C++ compares num to case 1, it's like, oh yeah, num is 1. So let me go ahead and execute this block of code. And here, all we are doing is saying option equal option 1, right? Make it a simple example so that we can understand how the structure works. And let's go ahead and make sure it passes. So we go here, run in terminal. Building our code. Okay, it passes. So then let's jump back to our test case and let's do option 2. We'll just use options 1 through 4, I think. So we return option 2 if we use value 2. Run the test case, run in terminal. It fails. I forgot to, I'll have to do the video separation myself. Okay. That takes more time, but it's okay. Okay, it failed. So let's go back into switch CPP. So now we're like, oh, we need to add another case, so case 2. And if we encounter case 2, then we say set option to option 2, and we need that keyword break. I'll explain break in a little bit, okay? Okay, so we have option 1, option 2. Let's go ahead and run in terminal. Okay, so we're passing, that's good. Back to our test case, test for option 3. It should fail, so run in terminal. Building. Failed. Let's go and add another case. So we're like, okay, so we need case 3. Again, how is this working? So C++ compares each case to this num right here. So if num equals 1, then it executes this piece. If it's 2, executes this one. 3 executes this one, okay? Option 3, break is required. Run the test case again. Run in terminal. Down here, all tests passed. Okay, so now let's go and do option 4. It should fail, so run the test to make it fail. And then we write enough code to make it pass. And by the time we finish, our function is completed and tested. Okay, notice here failing. So we go back here and we need another case. So we say, oh, we need case 4. So let's go ahead and say option equals option 4. Break required. Jump back, run the test case. We should have a passing test case. At the bottom, all tests passed right here. So we're good. And then we go back to the test case, and what if we say option 0 and maybe option 5, right? These are out of the scope. So if that happens, then we want invalid option, right? So we want to say invalid option. That's like, for example, if we use 0, and if we use 5, then we want also invalid option. So we go here and run in terminal. It failed. So now we use the last piece, which is default, and default works like the else statement. So anything that's not in the cases or that matches the test cases, we will say invalid option, and that should pass our test case. We go here, run in terminal. So you'll encounter this type of branching when you work somewhere. This is how you can test it to make sure that your code's reliable, right? So notice down here, all tests passed. And that's the switch statement. Break is required. It can get you into trouble if you do not add them, right? So I'm purposely removing this one. And let's see what happens. Let's run the test case. Run in terminal. Option 2 is not equal to option 1. So if we do not have a break, then C++ will execute the next case, regardless whether value 2 is 1 or not. As removing the break is telling C++, like, oh yeah, like I want you to execute these two cases, right? So we have to be very careful with that. Those come in handy, like if you have maybe like a sequence of numbers or something, or a range of numbers. And so before, the switch didn't support ranges. In modern C++ it does, but that's how developers handle a range of numbers, right? By not using the break statement. Notice I'm going to add it back. Now my test case should be green again, passing. All tests passed. So questions here with the switch. This one's not in the Python language. Okay, let me commit this piece. Actually, we need to use in main, right? So let's go here. Not there. Let me go CMake. And we'll just capture some input using character input, using character output, and include switch. Using string, you see result equals menu. Let me just hard code something here real quick. I just want to check something. Okay, it does recognize it as a string. Okay, let's say auto option equals 0. And result will put us an empty string. Character output, so we want to prompt the user, enter an option. What we'll do in the next class is we'll use concepts we learned to create some menu program to help us understand how to put them all together. So let me see here, enter an option, character input, option. So whatever we get from the keyboard, stuff it into option, result equals menu. We use the option value, enter. Okay, let me see. Didn't want to do that. Let me see here. I want to do that because it's an unnecessary call. So let's just go with string result. When we get to characters, I'll explain what happened here. But for now, just let's ignore it. And then we say cout result. New line character. Run our program. Enter an option, option 3. Should return option 3 back. Option 10, it should return invalid option, 0, invalid option, right? So this is assuming we had a menu where we had numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then that's what we would be trying to code. So let me commit this piece, switch example, commit. Questions here? So if else, you learn those concepts in Python, and the only new structure today is the switch statement, which works like an if-else if. We just have to make sure that we understand and we learn the syntax and the rules for break. Default works the same as else in an if-else if statement. So if you know that, then you should be able to handle this structure. Okay, let me stop the recording.